Hello everyone! I created a Google site called the March Archives, which provides you with the raw building blocks you will need to create a Google Classroom. You could just use this website, but some of you may want to use Google Classroom to manage and push out assignments. Take a quick look at some of the building blocks and resources I've provided to enhance your experience with reading the March Trilogy with your class. Here are some resources that will help you prepare for and facilitate your class's reading of March, Book 1. Among these resources is a list of topics that help focus your text conversations around broad themes that are explored in March. One of those themes widely explored in March is the theme of liberation. I provided you a sample text conversation that I simulated using this zigzag graphic organizer based on this broad theme of liberation as it emerges on pages 101 through 103 of March. Scrolling down further, you will see the video of the full assembly where Congressman John Lewis, Andrew Aden, and Nate Powell appeared in person. You may freely download this video. There's information here about how you might conduct and plan for this activity after the reading. Here are some further brief video clips that you may embed into your Google Classroom that we'll be showing you how to do later. And finally, we have some additional resources that will enhance the experience for you and your students. Go to bit.ly/marcharchives. Open a new tab. Go to classroom.google.com and sign in, if you need to, with your district account. If you have a classroom and you'll only be using this with your class, then skip this part where we're making a new Google Classroom and use your current classroom. If you're planning to conduct this Google Classroom experience so that it includes participation from another classroom or school, then you're going to need a new Google Classroom. The reason that you do this is because you won't be adding students from another classroom to the Google Classroom that you use routinely with your own students. So we're going to click on the plus sign in the upper right corner to create a new Google Classroom. Choose Create Class. You'll need to name the classroom. I recommend naming it something like March John Lewis Classroom. If you're creating multiple classrooms, then you can make notations for yourself in section, subject, or room as needed. But if you're only doing this for one group, then you won't need to fill in information for section, subject, or room. Then click Create and give it a moment. You can see that your classroom has been created. You can see the title up here, and you can see the class code to pass to students so that they can join in the class. You can change the theme here like so. Or you can upload something from your desktop here. I've included a JPEG image of the John Lewis sketch in the March Archives Google website. Click on your March Archives tab and scroll down to the Additional Resources section toward the bottom of the page. To download this image onto your computer desktop or Downloads folder, you can right-click the image itself. For you Mac users, that's a Control click, and for Chromebooks, it's an Alt click. Select Save Image As and follow the directions. Be sure to save it to a place where you know you'll be able to locate it again, like the Downloads folder. Once you've downloaded the image, go back to the Google Classroom tab and click Upload Photo. In the pop-up window, choose Select a photo from your computer and find the image in your computer files. Double-click it to select the image. Next, you're going to slide these handlebars like this so that you can get this extreme close-up of his face. Now that you've created your Google Classroom, let's add some content from the March Archives website. For example, let me show you what that might look like with a completed site. This is a classroom that I created. On this first page, for the educators in my district with whom I've shared this Google Classroom, I've added some instructions on what the assignment is. You probably won't need this since you will be facilitating the Google Classroom yourself. Where you will want to start is on the Classwork tab. So let's start here by clicking on where it says Classwork at the top. I've created 3 different subsections to push out to the students. Each section has a video embedded where the creators of the March trilogy respectively ask separate questions. They were recorded looking into the camera and posing a question as if they're talking to your students. Students compose an original post answering each question and then respond to the posts of their peers in each subsection. So let me show you how I'd create that in my demonstration Google Classroom that we're working on at the moment. First, you will click on Classwork near the top of the page, then click on Create in the black oval to make a new question. The drop-down menu from Create will offer you a number of choices. You will choose Question because it will allow you more of a dialogue format between your students. Now you'll be copying from the March Archives website straight into this Question pop-up window. The first section in the pop-up window says Question. Go to the March Archives site and scroll down. You'll be scrolling until you get down to this section where you see Andrew Aiden in the frame. Copy this and click back on your Classroom tab. Paste into this section. For the instructions field, go back to the March Archives site and copy these instructions starting with the word synthesizing. You'll notice that it says that you're attaching a rubric, which is strongly recommended, unless you already have one that you prefer to use. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now return to your Google Classroom and in the instructions field, paste the paragraph like so. You can set the points, due date, and topic to your preference. I don't tend to use those functions, so I leave them alone. Down here, we're going to attach the rubric. If you have your own file on your computer, you can click on the paperclip icon to attach it. If you want to use ours, visit the March Archives. Under the first video of Andrew, there's a link to the rubric. When you click this link, it will automatically ask you to make a copy that will be stored in your Google Drive. Once you have it in your Drive, you can go back to your Google Classroom. Now you can click on the Drive icon and find the copy of discussion rubric. It will most likely be here in your Recents, or you can look for it. Once you select it, it will be added to your question block. The last thing we need to attach in this question block is the video. Go to the March archive and find the video of Andrew Aden associated with this first question. Click on the video to play the video. When it starts to play, you'll see the word YouTube in the lower right corner of the window. Click on this to open the video in the YouTube window. In the YouTube tab, copy and paste the URL for the video like this, and go back to your Google Classroom tab, where this time you'll click on the YouTube icon. Once you click on the YouTube icon, you will get a pop-up window, and you'll need to click on the URL option near the top. Paste the URL that you copied from the March archives into the URL field. Once the image of the video becomes visible, go ahead and click Add. Finally, you can either click Ask to send it out to your students immediately, or click here in this drop-down menu in order to schedule it to go out automatically, or Save Draft to send it another time. For now, I'm going to click on Save Draft. When you click here, it should look like this. Notice that the title is at the top, the instructions are here, and the rubric and video are the attachments near the bottom. Do this same procedure for the other two questions. I hope this video is helpful. Be sure to take a little time to check out the other resources in the March archives. Have fun!